This episode of SynthCast was recorded on November 4th.
They've gone in south since 1961. Manufactured voices unite as all as one. The mysteries and the history, like a song from the future. It's time for SynthCast.
So, what's up, homies? It's SynthCast. We back.
We are back! Welcome back to SynthCast!
Hi.
Episode, 3?
I think this is 3, which is a little bit, I'm gonna try and not, internalize those numbers, but that's okay. It's fine. We're fine. Everything's fine.
Episode 1, Season 2!
Episode 1, Season 2. The first season was 2 episodes. Don't worry about it.
It was the OVA.
It's fine. Everything's fine.
Everything's fine. We're back.
Yeah.
A lot has happened in the last year and a half, and we are going to talk about exactly none of it, except for everything that's happened the last month, because we're trying to dumb this down to about 30 to 40 minutes.
Yes, we're trying to be as time efficient as physically possible. We are talking about the things that are here and now.
So, without further ado, we're going to start on our very first topic, which is we want to talk about all of the brand new Dreamtonics vocals that have released in the last, 2-3 months?
Something like that.
Something like that. Yeah, which includes Yuma, Natalie, and the upcoming vocal synth Mai. As I recorded this, it's upcoming. But you know what? I have a prediction that she's going to be releasing on Thursday. I need a calendar up.
Yeah, today is Sunday, the 6th, as we're recording this, just as an FYI, so,
Yes. My prediction is that Mai will release on Thursday the 10th. We are recording, as Logan said, on the 6th. And my prediction is that because Natalie and Yuma were renounced on, was it October 27th? Something like that. And then exactly 2 weeks later, they were released. I was like, that's a very specific number. I bet Mai will follow that pattern. So if I'm right, I'm right. If I'm not, I'm going to look very stupid in the future, but that's okay.
Dreamtonics likes making Vocaloid info people look very, very stupid. I went to Anime Week in Atlanta and watched, Miss and Pumpkin's, vocal synth info, panel. Mai was literally announced the day beforehand. It was great.
Miss got Mirai Komachi.
Miss literally got Mirai Komachi. We will explain what that means in a little bit because we'll also be talking about her, I promise.
Can we take a moment to appreciate that Mai is MA, as in Massachusetts?
Only you would notice that. Only, okay, Ma. Okay, cool.
She parked a car in Harvard Yard.
Is Yuma also that for the second syllable being MA? Are they both?
We don't have a state that begins with YU. We don't, right?
I don't think we do. I don't think so.
American education system go brrr.
The closest I feel like we could get is the Canadian Yukon.
So Yuma and Natalie came out on October 6th. They were announced in late September. And oh boy, are they fun.
I know a lot of people are extra super duper dorking out about Yuma just because
yes.
Androgynous vocals are fun.
Yes, he's also the first androgynous vocalist for Synthesizer V. But yeah, so that's a really big milestone for SynthV because a lot of people have been asking for an androgynous voice type, and we finally got Pico AI.
Oh yeah, all of that's true, but also from what I've heard from Natalie, she's cute. I like her. She's cute. Kevin has an English friend now. Good for Kevin.
Yes. I quite like that of all the fan designs that Natalie has gotten have depicted her as being darker skinned. Mm-hmm. I like that we've kind of universally accepted that. Yes, that's what she looks like.
I was honestly mostly wondering how much she was gonna spitball off of Legend of Zelda Khaki Shorts Kevin, but it seems like most people are letting her have a more vocal synth design, and I'm good for her.
Well, Natalie as a name isn't a meme. Kevin is a meme.
Okay, that's fair. I respect that. You're not wrong.
Also, it's absolutely hilarious whenever I leave my house and I see a white guy with short brown hair and a green Zelda shirt and brown khakis, and I'm like, love your Kevin cosplay. Same brain cell, Logan. Same brain cell.
We went the same direction. So true.
Then there's Mai, who just got announced, as we said, the Apple-themed girly.
Mm-hmm.
I like her.
Yeah. She's fun.
Yeah, she's really, really cute. We're getting more Japanese pop-oriented vocalists.
Yeah, she's got some pizzazz.
Yeah. People keep calling her different flavors of sake. But you know what? This is just the V3 era of synthesizer V, and I am here for it.
I am of the thought camp that it gets a little bit redundant starting to compare vocals together, because, there are only so many vocal types that exist in the world, so at some fucking point, they're gonna start sounding kind of similar.
I agree.
Yeah.
Maya's cute. I really like her, and now that I've associated her with Massachusetts, I want her even more.
Oh, Lord have mercy.
Okay, are we ready to talk about part 2?
Call my daughter and her sisters, who I guess by extension are also my daughters, and they're ninjas because they're ninjas. I don't know. Okay, I'm going way ahead of myself. I'm so excited that Cole's sisters are going on to other engines and stuff. For those of you that don't know, White Cole, also known as Yuki-san, is going on to... I'm blanking on the name of the freaking talk synth.
Voice Fox.
Thank you. Voice Fox. And I'm just so excited that they're actually doing things with those characters now, because for those of you guys that didn't hang out in the Vocaloid 3 era, if you guys weren't around for that, I don't remember it taking too long for them to talk about how Cole had sisters, but then they kind of just let them float in the background void for an eternity, and now they're finally getting to do a thing.
My understanding is that it was announced around the same time as Rosa that Cole had multiple sisters. We knew of Black Cole at the very least. But I believe around the time of Rosa, it was just kind of and here's 5 other sisters.
I don't remember how many of them we knew about early, but I do remember Black Cole being a thing, yeah.
Yeah, Black Cole was a thing. Also, the naming system of the sisters is absolutely hilarious, because you've got White Cole, Wind Cole, Black Cole, Reek Cole, Rosa.
Right? Rosa would have... Okay, whatever.
Okay, all right, Rosa Cole.
She's the odd one out. It's okay. I love that for her.
When White Cole was announced and came out, I actually had to barrel back into a lot of the information about Cole, because I haven't been keeping up actively with Cole's lore. Little did I know, Cole has a bunch of lore now in which she is actually from a village of ninjas, something shinobi.
All of her sisters, including her, are ninjas, apparently.
Yes, and the premise of their lore is that there's a dark external force threatening the village, and Cole and all of her sisters have to fight this. It's very anime, and I'm here for it.
Honestly, I love that, but also just Cole is one of my favorites, where I feel she's one of the characters that has some pretty deep lore that the fandom doesn't talk about particularly often, and I'm going to use this opportunity to hop on my soapbox to mention the coolest part. Before Cole got an official Vocaloid 3 voice bank, she was actually a derivative of VY1, so she could be a mascot for this Vocaloid news channel thingy-madoober.
I forgot about that.
Yeah, she's a VY1 derivative.
That's right. Oh my god.
No, her lore goes deep.
Oh, Cole is something. She's a wild piece of Vocaloid history. My god.
Yep.
Another thing that I found while kind of jumping back into the lore of Cole and her sisters is that as a character, Cole has been renamed to Re-Cole, as in R-E: Cole.
Yeah.
And people still call her Cole, obviously, but I guess her government name, for lack of a better term, is now Re-Cole, to kind of separate her from the rest of her sisters.
Mm-hmm.
Which is I see what they're going for here. I see it.
This is the last thing that I'm gonna say about this, because this is the last hill I'm gonna die on as someone who considers Cole to be one of my absolute favorite Vocaloids. If all of her sisters are going on to all of these platforms, please do more with Cole. Now that Rosa is on Synthesizer V and Chevio, White Cole is going on to Voice Fox. I don't care how they do it. I don't care if we're going to get to this point in a little bit. I don't care if it's Vocaloid 6. I don't care if it's Synthesizer V and or Chevio. I don't care. I just want more for one of my favorite Vocaloids. I'm just The rest of her sisters are going places. They better not leave her in the dust.
100%. Like, you can't just abandon the original.
Right.
I think that wraps up all our thoughts on Cole and her sisters.
I'm going to let point number 3 go to you because I know you've been infinitely excited about this one.
Yes. Hanakuma Chifuyu, friend of Natsuki Karin and Koharu Rika, was released on Synthesizer V and Chevio.
And she's really cute.
Yes, the third girl is here. She has been released. I'm so excited. Like, yes, she has escaped from development hell.
One thing that I did hear that's exciting about this, not to take it away from Chifuyu too much, because I do think she's cute, and from what I've heard from her, she is a lot of fun. I don't remember exactly where the tweet was, but I feel like I remember seeing confirmation saying that they do plan to make a 4th girl to complete the seasons. There is going to be an Aki at some point.
There is an Aki in the lore of these girls. So there's like a radio drama or something like that. And the 4th Autumn girl is mentioned and talked about. I don't remember if she actually even appears in the radio drama. I don't remember her name, but it's definitely Aki something. Mm-hmm. And I believe she is like the senior of Karin and Rika. So I'm excited to hear that the 4th girl is like coming along. I'm really excited. Like, yes, Autumn girl.
I have to say, Tokyo 6, I feel like really has knocked it out of the park with the 3 of them already. Definitely, like, I like them all to different amounts. Like, if you made me order them, I'd probably put Karin at the top, Chifuyu in the middle, and Rika at the bottom. But that's not me, like, hating on Rika in any way, shape, or form. Like, all 3 of them are pretty great.
Rika's kind of like the Hatsune Miku of the 3, where she's kind of like the default. And, like, not in a bad way. Like, Miku's good. Rika is good. I love Rika. Also, her English is really good, and she sings our opening.
Yes, she does. So true. I almost forgot about that. So true of her.
Rika sings our theme song. We have a theme song.
We have a theme song. Thank you, Rika.
Yeah. Point number 4. Are we ready to move on?
Sure. Yukari's Nagi AI voice bank. Yukari is pulling a Maknae Nana and going on to fucking everything.
Yes. Wasn't Yukari already on AI voice?
I think she was already on AI voice, but this is like an append. I'm gonna be honest, she might not be. Yukari is on so many things at this point, I can't fucking keep track. I'm gonna be honest. I love her. I have her Vocaloid 4 natural. That is not out of like hatred or anything. I just can't keep track.
That's entirely fair. I'm pretty sure she is, because she also has a Tsupomi voice bank, and that goes on AI voice as far as I know. Mm-hmm. To be honest, I don't keep track of the Japanese TTS engines. I mostly because of language barrier. But like, it's cool then that she got another voice bank.
I keep a general eye on AI voice because Yuri Yuzu's like company is like the company that like made AI voice. And like, part of me wants to believe he'll get a singing voice bank one day. That might never happen, but I can dream.
I think it'll happen. He might end up on Chevio, but I think it'll happen.
Maybe. We'll see.
He might end up on Chevio, but...
You know what? For Yorizu, I would buy Chevio AI. Honestly, if I'm going to be completely real, for him, I'd buy Chevio AI, but also... If I didn't already have One's previous Chevio voice bank, I'd probably buy her Chevio AI. And I have very, very, very deep-rooted nostalgia for Kizuna Ai, so that might also happen, we'll see.
Fair enough.
For those of you that don't know, on my streams and stuff, a couple of the, like, lines that you can redeem with, like, channel points and stuff are said by him. And Gallico. I have One too, but I haven't figured out anything for her yet. She'll happen eventually.
You have AI voice?
Well, I have his voice for it too. That's the thing. He has an AI voice, but that happened later. Back when they were still doing voice for 2 things, he got a voice for 2 voice bank. And I bought that while I was in Japan, actually. He's one of the ones that I brought home with me.
See, this is what I mean. Like, the text-to-speech engines, they're so plentiful and they're so confusing.
Robyn don't understand.
Listen. It's the language barrier for me, okay? I know I'm a fucking weeb, but also language barrier.
Okay, to be completely fair, to make both the voiceover 2 for Yoriyuzuru and Gallico Talk work, you have to, like, do, like, computer shenanigans, putting like your locale and language and Japanese during the install. And I think in order to use Calico Talk, you have to set them back whenever you want to use her again, although I don't think you have to do that for VoiceRoid. Don't quote me on it, though. I'm pretty sure I've not switched my computer back to Japanese and opened up VoiceRoid, and Yuzuru will still cooperate with me. I am pretty sure.
That sounds like the biggest pain in the ass.
Yep.
Listen, I know we're not the market. Like, we're a couple of fucking weebs in San Diego and Athens, but you know what? That's still fucking obnoxious.
Yeah, it was a pain. It was a pain, especially when I was like putting them on like my new computer and I couldn't get Calico Talks installed to work. Literally, someone had to like loan me like this one little file that might have been absent that like works for like all the like VoiceRoid things I put on the computer, and then Calico would install, and I'm like, I don't know what I just did, but she works now. So cool. Hi, Calico. What's up?
Okay. One last thing I want to mention about like Yukari is that she has this new design. Here's the thing. Again, language barrier. So I didn't understand that this new design was for a voice bank. I was like, oh, she's collaborating with some Japanese sports team, probably baseball. That's why I'm seeing a shit ton of fan art of it all over my timeline. And then like a couple weeks later, I was like, oh my God, no. She got another voice bank. Oh my God, no, it's John Wick.
I hate you so much. I hate you so much.
Okay, you want to announce the 5th point?
Yes, my daughter, Mirai Komachi, got verified on Twitter, and I'm so proud of her. It makes me happy.
Really, really cool to see that, like, her company is still doing so much with her character.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we all understand that the Vocaloid was kind of like a show of technology and just kind of, like, there as, like, a side thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if you ever scroll through the Mirai Komachi Twitter, it's just tons and tons of promotional events and, like, fan art and official art, and, like, it's absolutely amazing. It's so cool.
She's very a Bandai Namco mascot. Although what I found really, really funny, I don't know if this ever went through, but I remember at one point Bandai Namco was, like, changing the color scheme on their logo or something. I remember if that actually ended up happening, but it's really, really funny when the Vocaloid fandom, like, found out, because we're all like, Mirai Komachi isn't going to match her color aesthetic anymore. What are you doing?
Right?
She's the oranges because your icon is the oranges. What are you doing? Okay, because we're here, I do have to remember to mention this. So when we said earlier that Mist got Mirai Komachi'd by Mai, so I do Vocaloid panels in the Atlanta area, primarily Anime Week in Atlanta and MomoCon. There was one year, the year Mirai Komachi came out, the exact year I'm currently blanking on, but that's okay, where I was throwing my panel together for Anime Week in Atlanta, and I'm just sort of like chilling out. I got everything done. We're all golden, and I'm hanging out on like vocal synth spaces online, and everyone is proceeding to lose their mind at like 10 o'clock in the evening, our time.
Yeah.
That like this girl just appeared on like the Vocaloid shop with no announcement, no warning at all, not even a demo, nothing. She's just there, and I'm like, there's less than 24 hours before my panel. What the fuck am I supposed to do about this? So I added in like an extra slide being like, here's Mirai Komachi. Here's a design. Yeah. Like that was literally it. So out of everything else that happens with my Mirai Komachi, I have this like odd affection for her just because of that. Like, that was great. That was magnificent.
So I guess this is a good way to transition. On TikTok, I posted and also YouTube, I posted a video ranking every single publicly released Vocaloid based on my personal taste. And then 2 hours later, we have 4 new Vocaloids drop. You ready to want to do Vocaloid 6? Holy shit with me?
All right. 3, 2, 1.
Vocaloid 6.
Holy shit.
That
we were
wasn't bad.
in sync and then we weren't. You ruined it. We were in sync. Oh, Robyn. Like, I need you guys to know, I know we put it in the blooper reels at the end of, like, the, like, news in, like, 3 minutes thing, but, like, getting Vocaloid 6 holy shit to sync up was such a task. It was terrible.
Okay, to the main topic. Vocaloid 6 actually exists.
It is so surreal that this is happening. I'm gonna be completely honest with you. I'm still internalizing it a little bit.
Yeah.
Because, like, I feel like most Vocaloid people will probably tell you this for anyone who's watching this as, like, an outsider. Vocaloid very felt dead with Vocaloid 5 because of the absolute nothing that happened with it. As a point of reference, Vocaloid 5 launched with upgrades to 4 vocals and 4 new Vocaloids named Amy, Chris, Ken, and Kaori. There was a intro voice bank from AH Software named Haruno Sora. A little while later, Gynoid came out with Mecha Hime Mikoto. And that was it for the entirety of V5.
Yes. So on October 12th of 2022, Yamaha decided to jump scare the entire fandom and community with the announcement that Vocaloid 6 was available from that day onward with 4 new Vocaloids that are also AI. So this is the first time that Vocaloid is actually dabbling in AI technology, as far as I know, like at least publicly. So when you purchase the Vocaloid 600, you get 8 Vocaloids, including the original Vocaloid 5 default of Ken, Kaori, Chris, and Amy, but you also get 4 new ones that are AIs named Akito, Alan, Sarah, and Haruka. And there's a lot to kind of like unpack with Vocaloid AI technology. And we're going to try to unpack as much as we possibly can.
Yeah, although I do want to make a little aside there. I think it's really, really funny that out of the 4 new AI Vocaloids, half of them are also Project Sakai characters. Yeah. Like, I'm just like, y'all, come on. Like, literally, I looked up the day of Vocaloid Akito. It was just the Project Sakai character. And I'm like, this is going to be so terrible for Akito and Haruka. They are not going to make it. Please pick a different name. Oh my god.
Yes. Yeah. On TikTok, I got so many comments of people being like, Project Sakai Vocaloids? And I'm like, no.
No. I see why you think why, but no.
No. Remember how in Vocaloid 5, we got disintegrating Sims as the designs for the Vocaloid 5s?
Yeah.
The Vocaloid 6 defaults are even more vague, in which they're more like faceless silhouettes, with some general shapes of like their hair and like a base color, but they don't even have eyes, really.
I was just gonna say, we're literally reverting backwards to like Leon and Lola.
Yeah.
Like we're at the step going back to just like showing lips. It's just like silhouettes of people with some microphones.
Yeah. Yep. I feel like with Vocaloid 7, they're just gonna straight up do a Dreamtonics and make up periodic symbols. Right.
So back to sort of going a little bit more serious. There is a discount for the Vocaloid 6 purchase. If you do own a previous version of the editor, I think it has to be at least Vocaloid 3.
Yes.
But Vocaloid 3 through 5.
Yes.
If you own it, you can buy a discount version that is $135 USD.
Yes.
So a cool thing that's happening is that it is multilingual, sort of in the same beat as to where Synthesizer V AI is multilingual, where it is currently only Japanese and English with Chinese on the way.
Yes.
But basically, if an AI vocal is recorded with one of these languages, they can automatically do the other one. And again, also Chinese at some point. They're working on that.
Yes. One of the cool things that Vocaloid does that SynthV doesn't actually do, you can actually put both of these languages on the same track. You don't have to make separate tracks or parts or whatever to switch to the languages. Because in SynthV, if you want to switch languages, you have to make a different group, basically. Mm-hmm. But on Vocaloid, you can just do it all in one part. It's really great, actually.
It makes it a lot easier.
Yes, a lot more fluid. Another thing that AIs can do is something called Vocalo Changer. I believe previously the feature that was similar to it was called Vocal Listener. And Vocalo Changer, what it does is that if you feed a sample of your singing voice or speaking voice into Vocaloid 6, it will basically convert your voice into one of the AI voices. Think the TikTok feature that was just implemented where you can now turn your voice into the TikTok lady kind of thing, except make it Vocaloid AIs.
The TikTok thing dropped literally like a week after Vocaloid 6 dropped, and I'm like, oh no! TikTok, I say this as nicely as physically possible. TikTok did it better too. It's really bad.
Vocalo Changer is I say this with the highest offense. It sounds like the Vocaloid equivalent of AI generated art where it's extraordinarily uncanny. It's not good. I don't think it's that good. Sometimes I've heard some good instances of it, but for the most part, it sounds distorted and uncanny. Like there's a level of humanity in there that's a little too much and yet distorted to a point where it makes you uncomfortable. Vocaloid Changer is such a disaster.
I feel like Yamaha is definitely working on trying to fix up stuff like Vocaloid Changer to make it work out and work a little better, a little bit more efficiently. But the bad news of this is, and this was very much an issue in the lifespan of Vocaloid 5, and unfortunately, at least at the exact moment, it doesn't seem like they've learned too much of, is that even if they are working on it, and even if I believe like they are working on it, they aren't telling us.
Yeah.
And that makes it really, really awkward to wait for what you think maybe might be happening.
Yeah.
It's just not the best software consumer arrangement in the entire world. As much as I love Vocaloid and Vocaloid 6, that is still a thing.
Yeah. So, after Vocaloid Changer, there's one big thing that's worth mentioning, and that is that Vocaloid 6 has a working free 31-day trial that's available to English speakers as well this time. I have so much beef with Yamaha regarding their free fucking trials, because first of all, the Vocaloid 5 trial was only available to the Japanese, which like it should have been obvious for me and everybody else, because like it was released in the Japanese version of the Vocaloid.com website. But also, if you wanted to use it, you had to change your locale to Japanese. So I was on TikTok telling all these people to download the V5 trial that wasn't working for them because I didn't know it had to be changed to like Japanese. Really annoying.
Also, just this trial was like years after the actual release of Vocaloid 5. Like it took them a minute.
So Vocaloid 5 trial was a fucking disaster. So Vocaloid 6's trial, it's like, oh, it's actually available to the Western audience.
On day one.
And guess what? If you want to use the trial, you had to set your computer to Japanese time. So you still had to change your computer to Japan.
Okay, so let me explain the science behind this, because people on social media, I saw them figure it out. Basically, like, Vocaloid 6 released on a certain day in Japan, and that was, like, set as, like, the Vocaloid 6, like, day one day. So if you were starting, like, at the absolute get-go with the Vocaloid 6 trial, but in America, technically in America, because it's releasing early in Japan that day, you're in the day beforehand in not Japan. So Vocaloid 6 is like, what date is this? This is fucking weird. This isn't my start date. This is the day beforehand.
Yeah.
No. And throws a fit in doesn't work.
Right.
So you had to set your date to the Japanese time.
I think maybe like a week ago or so, Yamaha finally patched it. And it took them a couple of weeks to fix this. And it's like, wow, good on you for being so swift about that, Yamaha.
Yeah, like it doesn't matter anymore, but cool.
Like, great. But you know what? At least it shouldn't cause problems for people who are downloading the trial anymore. But like, it's like, come on. Like, you dropped the trial same day for like the English community as well, and you still fucked it up. I have so much beef with Yamaha and their trials. They make me so mad.
Yeah, they always manage to do something like that every time. It's real.
Yeah, it's they make me so angry. And the worst thing is I used to be a Yamaha apologist, like many years ago.
I was also a Yamaha apologist, and like the beginning of Vocaloid 5, I was a Yamaha apologist, and then I gave up.
Yeah. That's kind of like where I was too. I was just like, no.
So now, of course, this is also a thing that seems to be happening lately with Vocaloid editors.
Yes.
Because, like, I remember, like, Vocaloid 5 got rid of job plugins for some reason that still bothers me.
Raw synthesis.
But Vocaloid 6 also got rid of some stuff.
Oh, yeah.
And one of the things they got rid of was the gender factor, which bothers me a lot as a very, very devoted Yowane Haku fan. This is Haku, Neru, and Sakine Meiko Erasure, and it makes me mad.
They really came for our gender rights.
They really did. They really, really did.
Yamaha was like, no gender for anybody.
No one's allowed to have gender anymore.
It sucks because I actually use gender on a lot of my Vocaloids, specifically Kaito. I like to add gender to him to make him deeper, like just like a little bit, right? And it makes me so frustrated that they did this because like they keep taking away these like functions that people actually use, like plugins, cross synthesis, the fucking gender factor. Like, what next? Are they gonna remove the pitch bending tool? Like, it's kind of I'm kind of wondering where the line is for them.
Speaking of having no line, there's also no line tool anymore.
Yeah, wasn't that a thing in Vocaloid 5 as well?
I don't remember. I'm going to be completely honest.
I believe that was a thing in V5, and it continues to be a thing in V6, in which people have emailed them like, "Yo, we're going to put this back," and Yamaha's like, "No."
I just miss job plugins so much. I want Sachiko Bushi back. I want it back. I'm one of like 6 Sachiko users. Give it back.
You know what the craziest thing is? Is that majority of the plugins that came out with Vocaloid were Yamaha Vocaloids.
Right. Like Sachiko had one. Fukase had one.
Nola Project.
Yeah.
Like, really?
It does not make any sense to me.
Way to shoot yourselves in the foot, Yamaha.
Now I know at that point in time, we started going down the Debbie Downer path a little bit, but going back to the funsies involving Vocaloid 6, in addition to the 4 new AI Vocaloids that are already out, Yamaha announced that 16 more are on their way, and they are all like silhouettes, just like Akito, Alan, Sar, and Haruka. But like, you know what? They're gonna have fun.
The 16 new default Vocaloids that like my understanding of them are going to be free. The 16 on top of the 8 that we get is how many Vocaloids? 22?
Yes.
There's 22 free Vocaloids with Vocaloid 6.
It might only be 20, because it's 16 with the defaults, and then it's 4 of the new AI ones. That's 20, right? Am I forgetting anything?
Oh, I'm talking like in total, like you get like 22 Vocaloids. You get 8 when you start off with the initial editor.
Oh, that's 24.
Oh, it's 24.
Yeah.
God damn, I don't know how to math.
You're valid. I mean, I had to backtrack and be like, wait, no, that doesn't sound right. That doesn't sound right. Also, if anyone remembers an announcement way back when, how long ago was this? Like a year ago?
It was back in March, actually.
Oh, then not that long ago. It feels like it was longer ago.
Yeah.
But the Nana Music Company announced that they were doing something with Vocaloid. The voice provider's name is Philo, I believe, so everyone's just kind of calling it the Philo Vocaloid for now until like an actual name happens. And that is confirmed now for Vocaloid 6.
Philo, I believe, is an Utaite.
Yeah.
So back in like March, Yamaha and Nana Music held a contest to find the voice provider for their newest Vocaloid, which was the first like newest news really in Vocaloid for the first time in like years. What's funny is that I totally forgot that I did this, but I had made a tweet around the time predicting that the Philo Vocaloid was going to be one of the first Vocaloids on the new generation that was coming out in like late summer. That was my prediction.
You're so good at manifesting vocal synth things. It's more of your power. Like, I cannot tell you how good Robyn is at this. It's kind of surreal.
It was absolutely hilarious because I was right. And the voice provider for the Philo Vocaloid, Philo herself, quote tweeted me and she was like, "Are you a prophet?" And I was like, "Oh my God, I'm right." And then it was announced immediately after that. I was like, "Oh my God, I was right." Ha ha.
True.
I am manifesting Mew Vocaloid 6.
Please, Mew AI English is the only thing I will. Okay, that's actually a slight lie, and we'll get to this in a second. Mew and Mocha on Vocaloid 6 AI, I will never ask anything from Yamaha ever again. Those are the only 2 things I need.
That'd be worth it if Mocha got an AI V6.
We'll get there in a little bit. I have a little bit of beef with that, but we'll get there.
Okay. So the next biggest thing is that we have the announcement that came with Vocaloid 6 that Vocaloid Gumi is back on Vocaloid 6 as an AI.
Now, I want to know, for anyone out there who really, really likes Gumi English, I want to backtrack a little bit and remind everyone that V6 AI vocals are able to sing in Japanese and English, and eventually Chinese, regardless of which language they're recorded in. So this Gumi V6 AI is very much a Gumi native and a Gumi English at the same time.
So this is our Gumi English update that was promised to us in 2015.
Yep, it took them a while, but we got there eventually.
They move in Krypton time. The amount of people who are begging Krypton to come back to Vocaloid after this.
Right.
Like,
okay, can we just talk about how powerful that is for Gumi, though? Because, like, okay,
yes.
The only two Vocaloids that I feel like you could argue got even within, like, an arm's reach of the popularity that Miku has reached as just, like, the cultural figure that she is. The only two are Gumi and Tianyi. No one else. The fact that Miku is over on NT doing whatever in Sam fucking hell is going on with NT, that entire dumpster fire, while Gumi is literally, like, an intro voice bank on, like, V6, like, bringing in the Vocaloid resurrection. Like, honestly, power move of her. Like, I love that for her.
Gumi is now the face of Vocaloid.
She is!
She fucking won! She beat out Hasane Miku. She is the face of Vocaloid now.
So powerful of her, honestly. Now, I will say for anyone who is interested in buying Gumi's V6 AI, she has a starter pack with V6, and this can be bought as a physical, which means Vocaloid 5 spent its entire lifespan without a physical release. You could only buy Vocaloid 5 as a digital purchase, but on day one of Vocaloid 6 released, Vocaloid 6 is back to having a physical version you can buy.
The cool thing about Gumi's starter pack is that there's actually two versions of it. There's the download version from the Vocaloid.com store, which includes Gumi and the 8 defaults that come with her. But if you buy the physical version of Gumi with the editor, you only get Gumi and the editor. You don't get those 8 defaults. And also, it's much cheaper to just get Gumi and the editor via the physical. So, which is, I think it's a really nice compromise, because I know a lot of people aren't particularly interested in getting those 8 default Vocaloids and just want, like, you know, the cute anime girl.
I mean, so, you're talking about Gumi. I know there are a ton of people out there who want fucking Gumi.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I think this is a very solid start to Vocaloid 6. Like, what a crash banger. Like,
yeah.
This is like,
as we talked about, it's not perfect. But it's given how Vocaloid 5 was, it was better. So much better. I'm mostly curious to see, because, like, obviously Gumi's on V6, so we know at least internet company is in some way, shape, or form interested in keeping touch. But I'm wondering, now that the V6 is going much better than V5 was, if Yamaha, to put it as bluntly as physically possible, is going to be able to rebuild a couple of bridges that got burnt in V5.
This is not the comeback I thought was going to happen. This feels like a plot twist.
No, it does feel like a plot twist, and again, I'm still kind of reeling about it. Last thing, and the thing I've been most excited about, V-Singer is fashionably late, as always. Like, I think within 24/48 hours of the Vocaloid 6 announcement dropping, Shanghai Henyan announced that the Vocaloid announcements for Tianyi, Ling, and Yunhe are still going, and they're still going on Vocaloid 5. Despite the fact that Vocaloid 6 is already out, they're still going to be updated for the Vocaloid 5 editor. Tianyi is going to have 2 appends, and Ling and Yunhe are going to have 1 each. And let me just tell you, for those of you that don't know, they do this shit every fucking time. Like, so the Chinese Vocaloid started in V3, and Tianyi and Yunhe happened in there. Vocaloid 4 got announced, and then, like, right as they're closing the Vocaloid 3 door, Ling is running up like, wait, and she released after the Vocaloid 4 announcement. Then Vocaloid 4 happens. We go all the way through that. Vocaloid 5 gets announced, and right as they're closing the Vocaloid 4 door, Moku and Xingqian are running up like, wait, and release a month after Vocaloid 5 gets, like, released. And then here we are again with Vocaloid 5, Vocaloid 6, and they're doing it again with these updates. I don't know if it's intentional. I don't know what is going on with them. I think it is the funniest shit in the entire world, honestly. They do this every fucking time.
They do. They absolutely do. It's comical.
I honestly, if it's an accident, it is a consistent and hilarious accident, and I think that honestly makes it better. So to back away from the lulz a little bit, They are going to come in a little box. It is going to be a physical release. And I think it's actually kind of fun how they're doing it. I saw a little bit of pushback against it, but it's like a little box with like a little card and a USB inside. If you guys have looked at like Vocaloid releases before, but like it feels a lot like Maknae Nana's V3 box.
Yeah, iPad boxes.
Yeah.
They look cool. They definitely
like them a
look
lot.
cool.
Also, they will have official V5 design upgrades. So these designs that are showing got a little bit of pushback. And I don't remember if they ever said definitively if they decided that they were going to change these or not. The images that are playing right now are from the initial announcement. If they plan on changing them, those haven't been released anywhere to my knowledge, and I don't have access to them, so we're just going to play the ones from the original announcement.
I know character items aren't a thing anymore, and this is definitely like a very me thing. But every single time I look at Lu Tianyi and I just see the yellow, I'm like, she reminds me of lemons.
Well, doesn't she have a song called Lemon?
Does she?
Yeah, no, she literally has like a song called Lemon. Like she has a figure that is like Tianyi Lemon.
Okay. Character items
You
2022.
stop manifesting things, Robyn. God, I'm so tired of this. Stop doing that. That's weird.
Character items in 2022 come back. Let's go.
So true. So, and this is the hill that I'm dying on. Xingqian, Mocha, and Longya are all on V4, which is still, you know, a pretty, like, new editor and stuff. Like, it's still, like, sleek and all that stuff. But, like, I want Mocha AI. He's my son, and I want to make him sing in English. Please, please, please.
Yeah.
Pretty please with cherry on top. Please.
We'll get there.
God, I hope so. God, I hope so. I like, don't get me wrong, I would love Music's AI. Like, I love her to absolute pieces. But I don't trust Yamaha with anything to actually do that just because they're Yamaha. Mocha V6 AI has a practical chance of actually happening, so that's the one I'm gonna cheer on.
See, I feel like this was a Mandela effect across the fandom, but I thought Tianyi V5 was canceled because she was moving on to A Studio.
I feel like most people thought that.
I swear to God, it's a Mandela effect. 'Cause I swore that they kind of like silently announced it or something like that. And a lot of people kind of had the same idea, but it turns out, no, that was never the case. They just kind of like, I guess, not talked about Vocaloid for a while, and that's where the assumption came from.
The Vocaloid 5 releases for them got announced like a year or two ago. Like it was a little while ago. Then we heard nothing about it, and then we heard Tianyi was being put on A Studio. So we're like, so is the Vocaloid thing not happening anymore? What's going on there, you know?
Also, Ideolo, yeah, that's their name, dropped the official art for Tianyi's AI Infinity, I believe it's called, something like that. Very, very cool. We got light mode and dark mode. I'm really happy about that.
They're very cute.
Do you know if it's for A Studio or like what the AI? I'm assuming it's A Studio because AI.
Yeah, I assumed it was for A Studio, but don't quote me on it.
I think it's another one of those things that's like, here's Tianyi. Who knows where she's going?
Here's Tianyi, ominously.
It's just in the distance. Like, I'm coming for your giblets.
Tianyi slowly moving closer and closer to the camera with a stone cold expression.
Tianyi in the 8 pages, and you have to...
Instead of Slender Man, it's Tianyi just like, hello!
So I think that more or less wraps up everything that we wanted to talk about this episode.
Yeah, it was fine.
We are back!
We are back and we're sexy.
We are back and we're sexy bitches. And we're gonna try to be a lot more consistent. And we got this.
I think this might be a good time to try and go the current play-by-play. We're playing with this a little bit and testing it out, but I think me and Robyn have talked this out a little bit and we feel pretty strong about this. What we're going to be doing is sort of like doing like a back and forth between like TikTok and YouTube here. So on the 22nd of every month, we are going to like sort of like speed through any vocal synth that happened through the past month. And then at some point during the middle between each news segment, if there's something of extra importance that we sort of want to talk about, or maybe like a couple things kind of like this one that we want to sort of like focus on, more like a podcast style discussion like this, we'll talk about it in a more in-depth YouTube video somewhere in the middle.
You want to expand SynthCast a little bit and try to do like more contained segments, so that way we're also putting out content, but also in a more manageable sense, if that makes sense.
When we first did SynthCast the first time, in a hindsight, it feels like we might have overreached a little bit. So we're trying to do things in a way where we can do it a little bit more efficiently while keeping the consistency.
We are rebooting SynthCast with a smaller team and with more contained workload for everybody involved. We still have like grand ideas of where we want to go with SynthCast, but we're trying to dial it back to a more realistic standard for everybody involved, and also so that way people can enjoy our content in a more consistent rate.
Yeah, making it a little bit easier as for the lack of a better term, a simpler starting point, a simpler baseline, and then having more fun going up from the baseline.
I think that more or less wraps up this episode of SynthCast. Thank you all so much for sitting with us and listening to us ramble and our neurodivergence about Vocaloid and Synthesizer V and all things TTS. And we hope you join us next month as well.
Thank you for hearing us rant and rave. We appreciate it. We'll be back in a little bit. Bye.